Ibrahim Okyai, the very same corner he was spun out of the race yesterday. Kai van Berlo, the number 30 Mercedes, having a real push. Gabriele Piana all over the tail of the Allied Racing Porsche and eventually got through, but you can see the traffic jam in behind. Well, who's on the track? Neither of those two drivers. And certainly got very, very busy indeed at the other side of the track, the NM Racing Mercedes.
Top 10, the action was pretty fast and furious as well. Then number 13, Schrader Motorsport Porsche Cayman out to the side of the circuit. Will Tregurtha coming under pressure and being passed by Milan Donci. Then it was time to dive for the pits. Number 1 car was one of the first ones in. Simon Knapp handing over to Max Cobalt. The McLaren also in.
Had taken over from Jan-Philipp Springhob, and Philip Gogolok had taken over from Hendrik Still. Gogolok was closing in on the 16-year-old youngster, pressuring him into a mistake, sending him wide in the Aston Martin and taking the lead. Yertram fighting back, but Philip Gogolok was well ahead and able to pull away. And 4 wide into turn 1, but it was his teammate Cedric Fuchs who got into trouble further back, coming together with Luca Bosco. And Bosco picking up a penalty, having made contact with that Mercedes. Second place was Denny Burns, but he was soon overhauled by Burke.
Flapping though was Milan Donci at the wheel of the car. There's a bit of a spin, the Bullet Racing Mercedes going off. This caused a second safety car period, and here is a moment that pivots the race. The safety car was just coming out as the race leaders went through. As he got onto the track, they overtook the Maserati that we saw spinning earlier, the tail end of the field, and that was going to cost them 40 seconds each. But they had business to do before that. They had overtaking to try. And Finley Hutchinson really looked left. He looked fantastic racing around the circuit. The BMWs also started making the moves coming up the order. There's Simon Knapp and the number 1 BMW being given a bit of a rub. The 2 wonderful rumbling Camaros into a pit stop. And the story of the race was the number 5 Audi came in from second place, a lap for the number 10 McLaren. But look, pushed just a little too wide beyond the...
Taken over after the pit stop. Gabriele Piana had taken over from Burke Besler in the FK Performance Motorsport BMW. He was trying to push forwards as well, but encounters with Tim Reiter, the 2 cars getting together, did not help his cause, and suddenly the championship looked to be slipping away. At the front though, Oscar Christensen, who had replaced Lachlan Robinson.
Big spin by Spinoy, and then there was contact on the opening lap as well that did for Jan Kasperlik, and then off with a bit of help by the look of it went with a punctured tyre as he bounced back onto the road, Jan Kasperlik, and that lost that car, Jörg Wiebahn, and that cost that car a lap. So Wiebahn went Gwenal Delomier, and also off Luis Floss over at Hawthorne, that car into the gravel as well as debris scattered into the face of Jörg Wiebahn. Second safety car period therefore required. Some were able to take advantage of the pit window being open, including the lead. He certainly knows how to defend and was able to hang on to the place. But disaster for Raphael Renhofer as the suspension broke, the wheel trying to part company with the car, and he limped the pit lane out of the race. No such dramas for Enzo Juliet and Etienne Shelley, who came through for a somewhat dominant race win. Checkered flag for to put Tom Empson into the car. The sister car in the meantime though was really hustling on, and Josh Rattigan was doing his level best to make progress. He moved himself up past Fabio Rauer. That was 3rd place in the second stint of the race, and then he set off in pursuit of Enzo Juliet. It was a big gap to make up, but Josh Rattigan certainly had the bit between his teeth. It was more busy racing down at the bottom end of the circuits as Aston Martin and Mercedes.
5 wins this season. The field charging into turn 1. It was Hendrik Still who qualified also on the front row, challenging for that lead position as everybody fought for every position that they could find. Lawrence Rule went wide, picked up a bit of additional sponsorship at the Razzoon More Than Racing BMW. Couldn't see where he was going.
Away before the red lights turned to green on the starting gantry. They were first and second into the first corner. Tidy in behind with Ewan Mackay making great moves in the BMW to go from 5th to 3rd, and there unfortunately is one of the Aston Martins going down towards the tail of the field. David Griesner really losing out, being given...
Moving into 4th place, relegating Christensen down to 5th, and he was then setting about the championship leader J-Mo Hertling into turn 13. He made the move and was up into a podium position. Hugo Sasser was the next to fall prey to Piana, the 2-4 place. A great start from Alon Gabe in 4th place, but he was under pressure from Mikael Schrey, the championship leader, going up onto 2 wheels as he came round the corner to challenge for position. Nathan Fury was fighting back though in the opposite direction, losing 4th place to Hendrik Still with around 5 minutes of the race remaining. It was a second win of the season for Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, closing the gap on championship leaders.
And then there was this brush between Castelli and Gedic. In the end, through went the Toyota, and then the Aston Martin sailed by as well. Kay Van Berlo was the next person with dramas. Survived, others were less fortunate. Porsche's bouncing through gravel, and Alex Denning's McLaren being squeezed to the grass at the chicane. He was able to make a move finally to get up the inside of Vasily Vladkin's Toyota Supra and go by as up into second place went Benjamin Lariche, the lead having already been taken by Josh Rattigan. Drama at Le Combe, Lotus on Audi, big contact between the two. Ginetta and Freddie Thompson.
Wurde gestern schon Zweiter und auch heute will er diese Position verteidigen, hält seinen Porsche vorne. An der Spitze dreht Lachlan Robinson seine Runden und fährt im AV.
Caymans 1, 2 and 3, but the Ecris M4 had other ideas. Ricardo van der Ende, he's been around the block too many times to cede position and let it go. He was fleetingly back in fourth. Turn 14 out of 16 on the final lap. Time for a bit of a clash, and here it came. Kachunk off to the side of the circuit when Jan Kaspelik. He was able, Pavel left her off.
Henrik Still, who's taken over from Max Kronberg, goes wide into the gravel trap. He keeps the power on, he keeps it going, he doesn't get stranded. He rejoins from his fourth position, but now he's lost several places as he sees four cars all come sailing through. He gets the gravel off his tyres, he's able to rejoin. So those BMWs really dialed in at the restart. It was Janis Fitcher who led the way once again, but Finn Zulauf now coming under pressure from Hugo Sassa in the Pro Sport Aston Martin. The pit window was about to open. The cars were really...
The Stefan Lemeray driven Toyota. We had dramas behind as well, though, because Luke Ivaniev got onto the tail of Theo Nue and went past him. Then he got onto the back of the Ivan Giacomo Porsche and got particularly leery. Contact did the suspension on the Porsche, and Ivaniev was not done yet because then he caught the...
For Kurt Burgarts, he didn't gain any positions over on the grass, but up the front it was a really clean start in the lead of the race by Theo Nue, breaking clear at the front. And in behind it was super busy. The number 8 Toyota Supra always in the thick of the battle. The Century Porto Ticino 718 losing ground there, and then unfortunately a clash.
No from Nikolai Moller-Madsen was instructed to visit the penalty box for a pit stop that was below the minimum 95-second pit stop time. This was going to relegate him from the lead position, eventually rejoining in fourth. Now Zulauf was head-to-head with Mikael Makash for the lead. He'd taken over driving the Project 1 BMW from Maxime Osten. Makash was fighting back though, racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW over to Marat Kairov, having elevated it up to second place. But David Jahn, who was now in for Janis Fitcher, was pushing hard for that second place. Into turn 6, Jahn ducked to the inside, stealing the position away. Emil
33 cars roaring down to the first corner. McLaren just holding the advantage. Duncan Heisman just trying to hold off the lead of the race. He was soon disposed by Pavel left off and then pushed into a spin at turn 10 and had to wait for the entire field to avoid him before rejoining. Then we had a safety car out.
Getting into the driver's door of the BMW, leaving a fairly sizable hole and making the afternoon a very long one for the number 47 car. Mark Di Fulgentio was coming under attack for second place, and it was Jan-Philipp Springhob who pulled alongside. It was Mercedes versus Mercedes. They ran side by side.
Kollege von Dennis Bulatov vorn sehr souverän war. Hinten dann die Duelle. Hier Kairov gegen Max Jansen, die Niederländer. Und Jansen zieht da vorbei im BMW-internen Duell. Dahinter dann David Jahn, der Sieger vom Samstag im Duell mit Mike David Ortmann, dem
der anschließend noch einen weiteren BMW passieren lässt. Tim Reiter zieht vorbei, womit Still nur noch Siebter ist. Während Piana vorne eine Klasse für sich ist, sind Jan Jansen und Hugo Sasse ganz dicht zusammen. Und in diesem Trio geht es richtig rund. Jan bekommt einen Schubser von Jansen, Sasse macht Innendruck und schiebt sich gleich zwei
in front of him. Nicola Moller-Madsen is pushed into a spin, but he quickly rejoins the race, losing only a handful of positions. Then the duel between David Jahn and Bulatov for fourth position, behind the 3 Aston Martins. Onto the home straight, race control continues to
folgen. Simon Connor Prim holt sich die Führung und auch Enzo Joly geht vorbei. Lennartz nun nur noch Dritter und anschließend mächtig unter Druck. Denn Max Jansen ist ganz dicht dran, kommt aber hier erstmal nicht vorbei. Doch dieses Duell bleibt heiß. Lennartz verliert an Speed und geht etwas zu weit raus. Jansen